there to everyone watching and welcome back to my channel. My name is Terry and in this video I am continuing my Eurovision 2024 reactions, and over the past 2 weeks Malta have begun their national selection, the first country to actually begin their national selection properly, and we've had 2 of the 4 semi-finals already over the past 2 weeks, and in this video I'm going to be taking a reaction to those 2 semi-finals. I'm going to be giving you my opinions of the songs taking part, and I'm going to be letting you know who my favourites are. Now, I have already watched both shows live as they happened, so this isn't a first time reaction, but I'll just listen to a recap of all the songs and just give you my opinions as they come up in the recap. So, hope you do enjoy this video. If you've got any thoughts on the Maltese selection so far, please do let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, also please like the video if you enjoy it, because that always helps, and thank you to everyone that does that, and also consider subscribing to be reminded of all future Eurovision 2024 videos. But without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so first up we're going to take a look at the first semi-final, and I have the recap here that's been uploaded by MESC Eurovision. So thank you very much for them to do that. I will pop a link in the description to their video, so please do check them out and please subscribe and all of that, because they put together these recaps that makes it very easy to do these kind of reactions. But anyway, as I was saying, going to listen to the first semi-final now, and then second semi-final a little bit later. Oh, no, in the same video, obviously, but a little bit later on. And yeah, let's just take a listen and see how we think about these songs. Okay, so just going to pause it there so you can hear me over the song. So first up we had Misunderstood by Kurt Kalia, not the same one as 2012. When the names come out, a lot of people thought it was a 2012 guy returning, but not. This song was okay. I had a very country western vibe. When it first started, I did immediately think of Stefan for Estonia in 2022. You know, he was given the same sort of vocal styling, and the song had a similar vibe, but this one I felt never really took off like that one did. It was nice. I did enjoy his voice a little bit, but it was perhaps missing something to make me really invested in it. For me, in the first semi-final, of the top of the 9 songs, this came in 6th, so kind of in the middle. An enjoyable song, but not one that was one of my favourites.
I regret always be misunderstood. Don't you know my word is good? Come over here and hold my hand, and I'll be with you till the end.
Okay, so Luke by Sarah Benici, and I have seen that this is quite a bit of a fan favourite. When I first heard it, I wasn't too keen on it, I do have to be honest. I think that just the general style of it isn't one that I'm automatically drawn to on first listen. That being said, on repeated listens, it does grow on me quite a lot. She is a very good performer. She really does help to sell the song a lot, and I think that helps to improve its standing with me personally. I have it down in 3rd place, and I do believe that the top 3 from each of the semi-finals will be making the grand final. So if that is the case, I do have it as one of my qualifiers from this semi-final, and I am very interested to see how this translates to a bigger stage, because I feel that that will help to benefit it more than this small, compact, intimate stage that they had going on here in these semi-finals. So yeah, number 3 for me is Loop by Sarah Benici. Okay, so Wild Card by Gal Attard. This was quite a typical Maltese song I found, in that it's very a big vocal powerhouse female ballad, which I do sometimes like. I really did like her vocals here, but for me, I felt that this song perhaps lacked something of a bit of a melody for it to really stand out. I think people will listen to it and go, oh, that's a really strong vocal, but then I feel by the time that, you know, 2-3 songs have come along, I think they're probably going to be forgetting about this song. So unfortunately for me, it only placed number 8 for me, and that was purely based on the fact that I just didn't find the song strong enough or memorable enough to stand out for me, unfortunately. Okay, so Condition or Fiction from Mark Anthony Bartolo. He has, of course, appeared, I think, in the last two editions of the Maltese Eurovision Song Contest as well. This song, I did like it. It was a pleasant song. I can feel that it's very authentic to him, and that I very much enjoyed. I do just feel that perhaps it doesn't have that bit that makes it stand out amongst the field of other songs. I feel that other people will perhaps remember other songs more than this. It's very understated, and I feel that sometimes in Eurovision that can be a disadvantage. I have it placed in seventh position of the 9. As I said, I did enjoy it. It is a very pleasant and nice, enjoyable listen, but I do feel that there were better songs that I enjoyed more, and other songs that were perhaps more suited to Eurovision than this one. Okay, so There's Only Flowers by Eliana Gomez Blanco, who did take part last year in the Maltese Song Contest. And I do know that she was quite popular with quite a few people. I have to be honest, whilst this was another ballad similar to Wild Card, and whilst I felt that there was more of a melody in this song I could latch onto, we saw a little bit of it there. Towards the end of the song, I did just feel that it was just becoming a bit of a shouting experience, and it wasn't particularly pleasant for me. The focus just became too much, and she was just going for it too much, and it just wasn't really working. If the focus can be pulled back a little bit, and maybe that could make help the enjoyment. But as it was in the performance in the semi-final, for me, I have this as number 5. I do like the song, but I feel like the performance was just a bit too much for me in that semi-final. So yeah, 5th place for me of the 9 in the first semi-final. Okay, so Cloudmaker by Oxygen. This is very different. I noticed that straight away. They kind of got their own style, which is very intriguing. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't one that particularly appealed to me a lot. I do find that the song does sometimes seep into my brain, and I am kind of umming it to myself, which perhaps in a way is a good thing, maybe. But I just feel like when I listen to the song in full, it doesn't really grab my attention for the full 3 minutes. So unfortunately, this is my least favourite of the 9 songs. I have kind of heard that they are a bit quite popular in Malta, so it might be that they might get through still, and it'd be very interesting to see what they would do on the big stage, because I think they'd probably have quite interesting staging plans for this. But yeah, for me, it's my number 9 of the semi-final.
Go black and blue. I will go to the ends of the earth and change of you, adapt for you, and I'll leave me behind that someone to notice.
Okay, so Ghost by Nathan, again another person returning from last year. This song, it has taken a couple of listens for it to truly grow on me. I'm not a massive fan of the chorus when it's just him doing the long ghost sort of vocals. That bit doesn't really work for me. I normally prefer to have a song with a chorus that's got a little bit more going on to it. But the verses are quite enjoyable, and it is my number 4 of the semi-final. I think if the chorus was a little bit stronger, it could have perhaps helped to push this above Loop in my standings. But as it is, I have it as my number 4. But if this was to be one of the qualifiers from the first semi-final, I wouldn't be too disappointed because I did really quite enjoy the song actually.
I'm slowly becoming a ghost. Why I'm such a ghost.
Okay, so if you've been following along, we've got 2 songs to go, and they are actually my top 2 of this semi-final. And first up, we've got Lindsay with Fireproof, and this is in my number 2 position. It is, I will admit, quite a generic pop song. There isn't particularly anything groundbreaking about it, but I feel like in that kind of genericness, if we're going to call it that, is something that's very familiar to me, something that does just make me feel happy, make me dance along, make me sing along. It's just got a really feel good vibe. So while some people might say, no, that's a negative for this song, it doesn't really do anything new or different, I'd say actually that for me, that's why it appeals to me so much. I feel that Lindsay gives a good performance as well. And yeah, I'd really like to see this make it through to the final. And I'm not under any illusions that if this was to go to Eurovision, would it do amazingly? Perhaps not, but for me, I really did enjoy watching it and listening to it, and I would really like to see this one make the final. Okay, so obviously that just leaves one position left to fill, which is my number 1 position, and that did go to Busa in the first semi-final. So this one I really did enjoy a lot. I liked the kind of ethnic elements in the instrumentation. I really love the fact that it's in Maltese. I'd really love Malta to send a song in Maltese. It's very much overdue. And yeah, just overall, it's just something that perhaps I wasn't expecting. So for that, that was a very good, positive surprise. And yeah, it's something that when I listen to it more and more, it's grown me more and more. So this is definitely the first of, I'm sure, hopefully many songs that I'm going to be really drawn to throughout this national final season. And this is definitely my favourite of the first semi-final. So if this wasn't to make it through, I would be really, really disappointed because I really want to see what they can do with this on the big stage. Because I do think with good staging, this definitely has the potential to actually qualify for the final in Eurovision. So yeah, I would really like to see this one make it through. Okay, so that was semi-final 1. And then last Sunday, as of the time of recording this, we had the second semi-final, 9 songs again. Overall, I didn't feel that the quality in the second semi-final reached the level of semi-final 1 for me. Yeah, there was less songs there that I felt particularly invested in, but there's still a couple of nice songs there, so let's take a listen. Okay, so we started with Marie Claire, Fading, another ballad by a female with a big vocal. Similar to Gal Attard in the first semi-final with Wild Card, I felt that this one perhaps was just slightly lacking a bit in something that made it really stand out. Marie Claire's got a really lovely vocal. I really did enjoy it. But the song, yeah, I think it just wasn't quite strong enough for me to fully enjoy it. And I do normally quite like the female ballads, but I feel there needs to be a bit more. There needs to be something a little bit more in the song for me. I think this was just lacking that a little bit. I did like the song, but it is in 7th position for me of the 9 in the second semi-final.
Even though I wanted you forever, somehow you're fading. I don't wanna think one more puppet I may
Okay, so in the first semi-final, I had to wait until the last song to get my favourite of that semi-final. But here in the second semi-final, I got it early on. This song is actually my favourite of the second semi-final. It doesn't quite reach the power and impact that Buser gave me, but in a similar way, it's very, up tempo, again, a male vocal, which is a bit surprising for me because sometimes I do prefer the female vocals, but I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the energy, the atmosphere of it. Again, I'm very interested to see how this can translate to a bigger stage, which I hope, if it makes the final, which I hope it does, I'll be interested to see how that how it works on the big stage, if they're able to work the stage well and how they're going to do that. But yeah, overall, I just really enjoyed this. It's fun. It was catchy. It had a bit of energy and can't think of the word. But yeah, a bit of energy and a bit of impact and a bit of sort of personality as well. So I really did enjoy that, and this is my number one of the second semi-final for me.
Hey, let's go. Whoa, whoa. Baby, set me free. Don't you know I'm not what you need? Hey, let's go. Whoa, whoa. Watch me go step by step to the rhythm.
Okay, so Watch Me by Desiree Gretsch. Unfortunately for me, I didn't really enjoy this one too much. I think the song is nice enough, but unfortunately the vocal wasn't really strong enough for me. Pretty much throughout, I felt that the vocal was a bit off for pretty much the whole song, and I think that as a result had a negative impact of the song for me. On my list, I have it as number eight because there is one song that I liked less than this. But yeah, overall, I think it was the vocal that really let it down. I think with a stronger vocal, it could have been higher for me. But for me, as it was, number eight of the nine.
Now you know you can't control my soul. Don't you know my power has reawakened? The energy comes from within my soul.
Okay, so Sopranique Empire. This is a very interesting song with the operatic vocal style. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For me, I did like it, but I feel like if I'm going to have an operatic song like this, which is infusing pop, I think I like it to be a little bit more, perhaps edgier in style, or perhaps just more of a operatic type song. So edgier in style, maybe similar to Slovenia in 2007, which had like a bit of a sort of a dark disco beat, or La Forza Estonia 2018, when that was perhaps a bit more on the operatic style rather than trying to infuse other styles there. For me, this one, the vocals were strong. They weren't perfect for me, but I did enjoy them. But I think the song just wasn't quite there enough. I have this as number six of the nine songs in the second semi final.
Like a star, rising higher and higher. I'm your man. I'm your man.
Okay, so Man by Jan Phil. This song was a bit of a 50-50 for me. There's parts that I really quite liked. The chorus was very strong. He's got a good, strong vocal there. But for me, the opening of the song with the talking, I feel that needs to go because I felt that that just kind of made it seem a little bit too cheesy for my liking. And I feel that that kind of takes away a bit from the song. Overall, I did really enjoy the song though. I have it in my fifth position. Not strong enough to get into the top three of the semi final for me, but it was an enjoyable song to listen to. And yeah, I did enjoy it.
I'm your man. I'm your man for you tonight. I'm your man. I'm your man. Don't you know I know the truth? You can tell me that it's over.
Okay, Tell Me That It's Over by Ailey. So I really did like this song. It is a nice ballad. It's probably the best of the female ballads across the two semi-finals. again, it is just missing that little something to make me really fall in love with it. Ailey gave a good vocal performance, but yeah, it just feels to me that there's something missing in it. And I do worry that, again, if this was to go to Eurovision, it's the type of female ballad that would do okay with juries, but would probably be forgotten about in the televote. I have it in number four position because I do actually enjoy listening to it, and it has got a nice melody. But yeah, for me, there were three better options in this semi final.
You can tell me that it's over. I was never what you wanted. Use me like you used. Stab me in the last
Okay, so Denise. So when I saw that she was taking part again, I was quite excited because I really did like her song "Boy" in, I think it was 2022. I think it was. I really did enjoy that song. So when I first heard this, I was a little bit not disappointed, but perhaps shocked because it is quite a different sound. It's not something that I would immediately latch onto. Perhaps similar to Loop in the first semi-final, but this is an even more stronger version of it because the chorus, I normally prefer something a bit more melodic rather than the kind of the style that was given in the chorus here. But it is one that does grow on you and it does really stick in the brain. She is really a fabulous performer. She's probably the strongest performer of the first two semi finals. And I am very interested to see what this can look like on the bigger stage. It's my number three from this semi final, so it is amongst my qualifiers. And I would like to see what it does in the final because that could definitely elevate it more if it's got strong staging around it.
Bow down and kiss my tiara. You're about to bow down, 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 down. Hiding behind this mask. Pretend.
Okay, so Mark Portelli, Just Be. Unfortunately for me, this is my least favourite of the nine in the second semi final. It's nice, but it just doesn't really excite me very much. I think it's a very pleasant, easy listening type thing on the radio. But yeah, unfortunately, this one just wasn't really quite for me. I don't really have much more about that to say about it, unfortunately. It is my least favourite of the nine in the second summer final, sadly.
That I've got everything figured out. Whoa. I'm seeing so many sunsets. When are you moving on?
Okay, so we finished off with Maria Christina, moving on, and this does fill up my number two position in this semi-final. So it is one of my top three that I would like to see qualify for the final. Similar to Fireproof, which actually was my second place in the first semi-final, this isn't really doing anything groundbreaking or anything new, but it does provide a very kind of familiar beat and melody, and similar to that, it just makes me happy to listen to, makes me want to dance along, makes me want to sing along. And again, as I said for Fireproof, some people might find that as a negative. Personally, I enjoyed it, so I would like to see this one qualify. I don't like it quite as much as Fireproof. I definitely preferred Fireproof. I think Lindsay is perhaps a stronger overall performer, but I do hope to see this one in the final as well. And that's my top nine from the second semi-final. Okay, so there we have it. That's my reaction to the first two semi-finals. My next reaction to Malta will be in 2 weeks' time after the third and fourth semi-final, when I'll do the same as I've done now, reacting to both at the same time. So, yeah, in the first semi-final, I had the top three of Buza, Fireproof, and in third was Loop. And in the second semi-final, I had the top three of Puppet in number one place. In second place was Moving On, and in third place was Mara. So those would be, if what I've understood correctly to be the case, those would be my qualifiers from the first two semi-finals. And overall, I thought it was a good standards so far. The only one that I would say that I'm particularly crazy about would be Buser, but there were a few others that I really did enjoy quite a lot as well. But yeah, that's just my opinions. Please let me know down below your thoughts on the selections so far. Who are your favourites from the first 18 songs to be performed in Malta? We're hoping to make through the final. Are there any potential Eurovision finalists amongst them? Let me all know that down below. I love to read your comments. Please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell and liking the video if you enjoyed it. And until the next video, please do take care and goodbye.